In stories, there once were two friends who enjoyed each other's space. They had separate interests and wanted to know each other's tastes. One liked thrillers, the other liked action. They decided to switch to understand the other's passion. But both gave up before the thrill had begun. They could not wait to understand what made the other's fun, fun. The feeling is common. You recommend a show to a friend. They drop it or hit you with the classic question, when does it get good? But why does this question exist? What are they really saying, and is their question reasonable? Look no further as we'll examine Steins and Gurren Lagann, some of the most popular It Gets Better Later anime, and determine whether the claim is true. We'll test the idea of it gets good to discover what makes a story work from the beginning. When someone asks, when does it get good, it implies a few things. First, they have high expectations of what should happen in the story. This could be a more serious tone or higher stakes. Second, they did not get hooked by the story or are not invested in it. Third, they didn't understand what makes a story special, meaning nothing in the story stands out to them. For the first point, high expectations usually come from hype surrounding a show, as well as ratings on sites like IMDb or MyAnimeList. Shows like Steins or Frieden come with much fanfare, making viewers think the show must deliver the very minute they press play. The issue with this type of engagement is that it relies on expectations not built within the story, but outside of it. The expectations formed outside the story are flawed, since they're not based on what the story tries to do. For example, many fans falsely believe that Rock Lee's character was about hard work versus talent, but it's about perseverance and becoming a splendid ninja. Fans' misunderstanding of Rock Lee led to unrealistic expectations. This tells us that as viewers, we should judge a show based on their writings and execution, not ratings or hype trains. To set expectations, we have to look at what a story builds. Some stories are fast from the get-go, while others take time. But the key aspect is the hook. Hooks come in different shapes and sizes, but all share similar qualities. They establish some of the main characters of the story, introduce the conflict, and some surprise the audience by either creating gaps in our understanding of the story, only for them to be explored later on, or catch us with thought-provoking or captivating moments. Promised Neverland and Attack on Titan are some of the best first episodes that fall into the introduction of conflict and surprise. They offer a visceral feeling of betrayal and disgust. At the same time, other first episodes offer similar ideas while showcasing different aspects of a story. For example, Monster's first episode hinges on a moral question: who should Tenma save? Attack on Titan and Monster establish elements that are explored later, and set expectations for what this story could be about. Steins begins its first episode by introducing us to Okabe Rintaro, an eccentric mad scientist. We're quickly thrown into a world of strange monologues, objects landing on buildings, and a confusing interaction with a woman who Okabe is convinced he's never met, only to find her dead and then somehow alive again. This sequence of events hooks us, adding suspense and teasing ideas. The mystery surrounding Christina's apparent resurrection sets up the series' main tool: time travel. Okabe's quirky, chaotic personality makes him interesting to follow from the start. We're drawn into his random rabbles. If we're judging stories from their hooks, Steins gets good from the very first episode, 22 minutes and 2 seconds in. This is a joke, but it shows a key point. When a show gets good depends on the audience paying attention. For some viewers, Steins might not get good until its major turning point in episode 12. But those viewers overlook the importance of what sets the table. Without the buildup of relationships, especially between Okabe and Mayuri, the emotional heights of the later episodes wouldn't hit nearly as much. The early episodes lay the foundation for the payoff, making the emotional stakes more important when the story escalates. Saying Steins gets good at episode 12 is similar to saying a puzzle only becomes fun once the picture is almost finished. But the satisfaction of seeing the picture come together only comes from the work you put into sorting the pieces from the beginning. The setup is essential to making the payoff work. This is not to say that the episodes before 12 are bad. People often downplay the early episodes of Steins as slice of life. What they're trying to say is the moments before episode 12 are filled with low-stakes adventures, where we follow the team do everyday tasks. But this misses the groundwork being laid. What Steins does early on is show how time travel starts to weigh on Okabe's mind. He's the only one aware of the changes, and questions if these minor shifts could turn catastrophic. Each use of the time machine before the Mayuri death cycle is based on the wants of other characters, but with every change, Okabe's concern grows. Episode 9 shows this the best. Faudus uses the time machine and the entire city changes. This introduces the butterfly effect. One minor tweak can trigger a bigger change. Okabe, increasingly shaken, realizes the terrifying power of time travel. And that's just one thread. He's getting mysterious text messages, the vanishing IVM computer, and strange behavior of characters like Suzuha and Mocha. The stakes are clear from the start, and while the emotional heights of the later episodes have yet to unfold, the suspense of Okabe's internal conflict is apparent. This is not a low-stakes slice of life. We're being introduced to the ideas of consequence and regret, all while allowing us to identify the main cast and their relationships, so that when everything falls apart, we care. Yes, this comes with fun moments of the cast goofing around, but this allows us to connect and understand these characters so that we're invested. It's not just pointless dialogue. But one show has a point that turns and twists until it reaches the heavens. Gurren Lagann offers a twist on the when does it get good idea, since it gets even better. The story sets expectations early on, only to twist them as it continues. From episode 1 to 15, Gurren Lagann follows a Monster of the Week format, where our team grows and meets new characters. By episode 7, everything starts to come together. Viral is established as a recurring villain, fighting our heroes again, and the Spiral King is officially introduced. At this point, our team isn't fighting some random enemies, they're battling against a dangerous empire. With each Beastman defeated, they inch closer to the Spiral King. After capturing the Daigonzen, they evolve from a motley crew to a real fighting force. While each episode builds and pays off individual events, something much bigger is brewing. When the team faces off against the Spiral King, he seems like the final boss, until the plot twists. It's revealed that the anti-spirals are the true villains, that the Spiral King was actually protecting Earth. This recontextualizes everything we've seen. The scale of the conflict hits the universe, and the story shifts from a good one to a masterpiece. The plot twist hits harder due to the contrast established earlier on. Gurren Lagann is an example of a show that gets good after a slow start. But it's an example of how some plot points need patience for the payoff to truly pay off. So now the time has come. When does it get really good? For Gurren Lagann, it's episode 8 or 15. For Steins, it's episode 12. Joking. The honest answer is that it's not as simple as waiting for the big plot twist or the Sakuga action scene. Shows like Steins show us the build-up is as important as the payoff. Gurren Lagann shows us that something looked down upon, like the Monster of the Week format, can turn into something special. In the end, patience is key. A great story might take time. This can come with a slow build like a mystery or a first episode that confuses the viewer like Steins. So the next time you ask yourself, when does it get good? Maybe the better question is, what's being built right now that I could be missing? Sometimes the best part of the story is the journey to those unforgettable moments. Just like the poem, maybe the friends could understand each other if they waited a bit longer.